Good morning, it's Christopher Taylor with Sovereign Harmony Astrology up on the hill. We're going to do the astrology for the week of, June 14th to the 20th. So just taking us right to the doorstep of the summer solstice in the Northern Hemisphere anyway. So next Sunday, the sun will be in Cancer, we'll be on the other side of the solstice. But we've got to finish up this week with the sun in Gemini, and it finishes up with a new moon tonight on Sunday the 14th. We've got a new moon in Gemini, very gentle, very opening kind of new moon energy, okay? It forms a sextile to Chiron in Aries at 29 degrees of Aries. Chiron is going to enter Taurus at the end of this week on Friday. Okay, it's a preview of Chiron in Taurus. It's only going to be there a few months. It's going to back into Aries again in September, and then it won't be in Taurus for good until April. So a lot of these outer planets will move into a sign for a little bit, back up, and then go back for good. I always look at it as kind of like a breather from the previous sign. So Chiron's been in Aries since 2018. So we're going to get a little breather from plowing through those wounds and the healing associated with our courage, our self-respect, our self-actualization, our anything to do with the self and putting ourselves first, being sovereign, etc. Any wounds associated with that we've been dealing with since 2018. We're going to get a breather from that with Chiron and Taurus for a few months. Then we'll finish that up from September to April. Okay, and what's interesting is that this new moon is forming that sextile to Chiron at the last degree of Aries. Okay, with Gemini, the new moon being in Gemini, Chiron being in Aries. Okay, don't confuse the two. But anyway, so it's kind of like an assessment, and this new moon wants us to open. Okay, so open to things that are beyond the limits of our wounding. So we've been made very aware of where those limits are. Where no, I just can't do those things. I just can't say those things. This new moon is saying, well, just try it, experiment. Gemini is very much about putting our fingers in different pies, experimenting, seeing what's happening outside of our comfort zone, outside of any limits that we might perceive. And so Chiron in Aries, again, has made us very aware of those limits. This new moon is giving us an opportunity to say, hey, this has always been my limit, but what if I crossed over this line? What if I said that thing I wouldn't normally say? Like I think of that John Mayer song, say what you need to say. That's kind of in my head right now as I said that. So if there's things we need to say, if there's things that we would normally not say, this is the time to do it. Okay, and so just experiment with that. So there's different ways we can utilize this energy. But anything that opens, anything that allows for more than we're used to, that's really what this is about. Okay, so out of the comfort zone, essentially. Okay. In addition, the ruler of Gemini is Mercury, and that is actually in its shadow zone now. So it's in Cancer, in the shadow zone of the retrograde. It's going to be coming here at the end of the month, June 29th to July 23rd. Mercury retrograde from 26 degrees, Cancer back to 16 degrees Cancer. So it's in that zone between 16 and 26 degrees Cancer right now. And so that is taking that new moon energy, and it's basically saying that, like, this openness, we're gonna dig deeper into that, and we're gonna play with that over the coming weeks. Okay, and it's more about getting into our feelings, and what is it that's held us back all these times? What is it that has drawn those boundaries with our limitations, etc.? And so really getting in touch with that so we can grow beyond it, because Mercury again is gonna shade over that same sector of the zodiac that Jupiter did from November to March during its retrograde in Cancer. And remember, Jupiter's finishing up in Cancer here at the end of the month as well. Okay, so the emotional growth that we've had over the past year with Jupiter in Cancer, this Mercury retrograde is gonna work with that. Okay, it's gonna reevaluate that, see where we're at with that. And so that's connected to the new moon as well, because again, Mercury being the ruler of Gemini. And so we're taking this level of openness, going beyond our boundaries, and we're going to deepen it. Okay, figure out where are our new limits, and are we limitless, right? And what is it in our feels that has prevented that? And so we're really getting into the healing of what has prevented us from moving beyond any perceived limitations. Okay, we also have Uranus in Gemini squaring the moon's nodes still for the whole month of June, really. And so that might link in with this new moon as well. So as we're opening ourselves up, other people are opening up around us. We might hear things, in addition to saying things that are out of our comfort zone, things that could redirect us in terms of our life direction. Okay, the nodes are all about where we're coming from, where we're headed. Uranus in Gemini there, it's kind of like that information that says, oh, let's reorient us in this direction. Okay, so allow that to happen. that could be part, again, of this new moon in Gemini energy. We're opening, and so that allows for that lightning strike to come in. Okay, if we weren't open to it, maybe we wouldn't have received it, but we are, so now we can. Okay, so that's a theme of this week as well. That Mercury in Cancer, again, that ruler of the new moon, it is forming a sextile to Mars at the point of this new moon tonight, and that Mars is in Taurus, and so that just suggests that the process is going to be slow and methodical. Okay, as we dig into this, this is not rapid fire. That Uranus is rapid realization, but movement is slow and methodical in response to that realization. Okay, so understand that. So it's not like we're getting blasted out of a cannon, or anyway, our minds might get shifted into a new paradigm instantly, but the movement toward it is going to be methodical, steady, and purposeful, etc. Okay. The other thing happening this week, so this is a precursor. In July, Jupiter will be in Leo, and it's going to actually form aspects to all the outer planets. The outer planets are right now Uranus in Gemini, Neptune in Aries, and Pluto in Aquarius. So Jupiter will be in Leo, opposing Pluto in Aquarius, and forming a sextile to Uranus in Gemini, trying to Neptune in Aries. And what's happening is the personal planets are all going to make their way into that space in early Leo to form that trapezoid, essentially. So it's basically a triangle of outer planets with Neptune in the middle, and a trine between Uranus and Pluto connecting it. And then we're going to have a train of planets that are going to be in Leo and setting that up into more of a trapezoid, with the opposition to Pluto and Aquarius being that flat point of the trapezoid. So Venus is going to start us off this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's going to form the same aspects to Uranus, Neptune, Pluto. It's basically a primer. Think about it like when you're painting, you put a primer on first. So Venus is like this primer. It's a heart primer. Again, it's part of this opening theme of this week. Opening with that new moon, also opening our hearts with Venus in Leo, more expressive, okay? And the new paradigm is represented by these outer planets in their new signs. And so this is our primer on a heart level for what's coming in here in the summer with Jupiter sitting there. And Jupiter is about that expansion of our individual role in this new paradigm. And how that plays out societally, it'll be interesting, okay? So we're definitely like opening up a new chapter on a global stage, but also on a personal level where we fit into that. And so this summer is going to really open up some things. So think of this week, again, this is our chance to open ourselves up and as we prime our hearts for what's coming in the summer. So it's really a preparation kind of a week, just opening up the cup a little wider to catch a little bit more that might come in. It's like having, if you're trying to catch rainfall for drinking water, we're getting a bigger cup here. So we're expanding that cup, letting more come in. Okay, so we'll leave it at that for today. So new moon in Gemini tonight. Remember to open, remember to dabble, try new things, experiment beyond our perceived limitations. We're going to have this whole summer to really reevaluate where we are on a heart level with that. And this is a great time to open up for what is coming this summer when Jupiter enters Leo and forms the aspects to those outer planets. So it'll be interesting. If you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any comments, please comment below. If you're looking for a personal reading where all this fits into your chart, please let me know as well. We can set that up. Otherwise, enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of this week, and we'll catch you at the other side of the solstice next week. Take care.